Will Patrick Mahomes play this week? DJ Humphries does not practice, but Hollywood did, and the NFL continues to work against the Chiefs. From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob Take on Chiefs Kingdom.
I'm Buck.
And I'm Bob.
And we're not fancy analysts, but we have just as many bad takes.
Hell yeah, we do. All right. Well, guys, we're gonna get into this show. We're gonna talk about if we think Pat should play. He probably is, but we're gonna talk about if we think he should or should not. We're gonna talk about DJ Humphries once again not practicing, but Hollywood practicing, and then we're gonna talk about how the NFL continues to work against the Chiefs, and it's not cool. So, with that being said, is there anything from last game that you want to get off your chest that you've been stewing over or thinking about since we last talked?
No, I just, Joe Tooney stepped in and did such an amazing job, but the offensive line still did struggle. But man, I just want to give props to that guy, and I know we did after the game, but he he is a consummate professional, and we've said that a lot about a lot of different guys on this team. But that's just kind of the way this team is made up, and you know, I guarantee you, he's not the guy that's looking for accolades. He's just wants to win a football game. So,
Yep.
man, hats off to that guy. I'm not taking my hat off literally, but hats off to that guy.
And he did play tackle in college, but I mean, I don't know that I'm positive he hadn't played it. He hadn't started at tackle on the NFL level at all until then. And I mean, he was going up against one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL, so gotta give him
Possibly the
props.
best pass rusher today.
Yeah, gotta definitely give him props. But yeah. Um, yeah, for me, just kind of sitting there, I don't know, just kind of worried. That's all I've really been after the game. Just worried about Patrick Mahomes, and really, I got everything I wanted to say about the Browns matchup out. And if our defense continues to play like that, I mean, I think we're gonna win regardless. But
Yeah.
I'd love to see
Yeah.
the offense get a little bit more work in and really start to make that a little bit more of a mainstay rather than you know
I am not ready to sign on to that. This is the Chiefs defense now, and we're going to get six turnovers a game. It's going to go right back to the way it was, which is fine. Good defense. I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing, but do not expect 4 to 6 turnovers every game because that's just not how it works with this defense.
nope, it just, but I don't know, man. I mean, I called it from the start of the year that the defense was going to change and the pass rush was going to get good when Charles Minihue, number 90, came back, and that is coming to fruition. I mean,
That
you
wasn't
know,
that wasn't like a reach either. You're saying that like I'm some spiritual guru that I
well,
see the
the
future. Like,
majority of people
I mean,
weren't talking about it. I mean, it definitely wasn't on ESPN, and it's still, I don't think people actually even see how much he's opening up for Carr, Loftus, and Jones. It's huge. So,
yeah, it absolutely is. It's kind of like back in the day when we had the Neil Smith and Derek Thomas duo. And now it's almost like there's three guys that are working in tandem, which is you know pretty cool to watch.
yep.
Pretty fun to watch.
All right. So, where do you want to start, Buck? Do you want to start with, you know, just the game overview? You want to just give a little overview?
Yeah, well, I mean, week 16. Kansas City Chiefs, um, with one loss on the season. We're going up against the Texans. The Texans have been kind of up and down. They've shown flashes of brilliance, and they've shown some flashes of not so brilliance. It's hard to say what team we're going to see, but if history tells us anything, we're probably going to see one of those flashes of brilliance. CJ Stroud is a young quarterback who has just a world of ability. And when it all comes together for him, he really puts on a show.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I think the Texans have a lot of really good things. I don't know what, Stroud has struggled, but that's pretty normal for a second year quarterback. I talked about it in nauseum for Patrick's Mahomes' second year. I was super worried because now everybody has a whole season of tape on you and things get harder. And I was really scared on if, we were going to see the same type of production. And, I'm glad we did, but, and then, the third year of Patrick Mahomes is when they, everybody found out, oh, too high safeties, and he's not been the same since, So they're gonna find your weaknesses, and you're gonna have to recreate yourself like Mahomes has. And I'm just hoping Stroud doesn't do that until next year. I just don't want, at least until next game. Like
At least till next week.
yeah. We just
They've got a
keep that
Christmas
there.
game too, so at least till Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, it's something we should talk about. There's a lot of people pissed off about the Chiefs' schedule, but you have to remember there's 3 other teams having to do this same 11-day span. So,
The
there's
only
the
problem
Texans.
is when was their bye week? Because I feel like ours was like
Really
week
early.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I think it was week 4, I want to say. And it just seems like it's always really early for the Chiefs. Do they do it in alphabetical order? It just, man, we'd much rather have it in 11, 12.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, why don't you
Especially if
have
you're going to do that 11-day stretch.
Yeah, have the the crap teams do this. Have the bad teams, do all these games in a row, but they want Patrick Mahomes on Netflix, and
I mean, can you blame them?
yeah.
I want to see Patrick Mahomes on Netflix.
I just want to win this week and the Bills lose, and then Patrick Mahomes sits for the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Suck it, Netflix.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Netflix.
Oh, it'd be
Man,
so good.
and then Carson Wentz as a game plan, Carson Wentz, when they know that Mahomes can sit, that could be a fun thing to watch too. Carson Wentz had some success back in the day. He got Philly to a Super Bowl almost by himself, and then he
Yeah.
got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I mean he was on a career year, and he got hurt, and yeah, that was, it's a bummer. I mean, it's a very similar story to Trent Green. Trent Green wasn't having a career year, but Trent Green was an upcoming star, and he got hurt, and Kurt Warner came in, and that was all she wrote. He never got a chance again, and
Thank you, Kurt Warner.
Yeah, because that's why we actually got him
Trent
on the
Green.
Chiefs. Yeah,
I loved Trent Green. I love him as a broadcaster. Not as much as Tony Romo, but if it's not going to be Tony Romo, I'd love to hear Trent Green's voice.
Yep. But yeah, so let's start off with, so the Chiefs are getting hosed. I don't want to say a
bad word.
The word that rhymes with dude. It doesn't rhyme with dude, does it?
Yeah, it does. It rhymes.
I guess any
if you're trying to spell it in your head, it doesn't work. But
Yeah,
if you just say them, yeah, they run.
but
Definitely.
we're getting hosed. The NFL is working against the Chiefs. It makes it's so funny because everybody says that the NFL wants to help the Chiefs and the NFL, the refs want to help the Chiefs. That's absurd, guys. The NFL wants parity. They don't want one team dominating. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
So
that one team makes a lot of money, but the NFL doesn't. When there's parity and excitement in every game, that's when the NFL really makes a lot of money.
yeah.
So yeah, they're trying to level the playing field in
So
any way possible.
any of those
This is not
tanks.
about the schedule though, folks. Hold on.
Yeah, no, it's not about the schedule, but yeah, I just wanted to clear that up because anybody that thinks that the refs are helping the Chiefs to help the NFL, you're absolutely nuts. They're hurting the Chiefs. That you could maybe buy into. I still don't buy into that, but that would be a much smarter and more sane take than you saying that the NFL is helping the Chiefs because it does nothing for the NFL and we're a small market team. It's even worse for the NFL that the Chiefs are so big. And so, yeah, just wanted to put that to rest. But well, the schedule
Are you gonna
screws.
are you gonna say why?
Yeah, yeah, I am. The schedule is definitely screws us over, but
Okay.
there's other teams that do that. But also on top of this, we found out that the infamous Carl Cheffers is going to be our ref for
Carl.
the Texas game. And if you guys don't know about Carl's history with the Chiefs, Carl loves to flag the Chiefs. Carl's the one that that flagged one of the coolest plays in NFL history with one of Buck's most hated players on Chiefs
Yeah.
in history, Kadarius Toney. He's the
That
one that,
wasn't a Kadarius Toney play, that was a Travis Kelce play.
but he's also the one that basically every game we've ever played with him. He finds a way to flag us 2 to 3 times more than the other team. It's almost like he hates the Hunt family and he just hates the Chiefs organization. I can't prove that, but boy, the proof is in the numbers when you look at all these different penalties and how much he has flagged us. Even Travis Kelce has come out and said, I forget what game it was after, but Travis came out and said, shouldn't even be able to wear a zebra jersey ever again, or even work at Foot Locker.
Alright, well, hold on a second. Did he say that, like, directly after the game, or did he say that, like, a couple days later when he had a chance to cool down and he's still? Because my guess is if you asked him right now, his answer would probably be a little bit different.
Yeah, he said it directly after the game
Yeah.
with what game was it?
No idea.
It was the AFC divisional round loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. January 15th, way
Or
back
Mahomes
in.
didn't.
Yeah, it was way back, but this was back when Kelsey was a hothead. He got
Mhm.
fined. He got fined for it too,
He knew he would, he didn't care.
but the whole point is that he's a bad ref. He's obviously got something against the Chiefs, and why do we have to play with him down the stretch? I don't know, but yay.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll we'll see, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to say about it after the game. But that kind of leads into what I'd like to talk about next is Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
specifically. That's one more reason to sit Patrick Mahomes during this game. All signs lead to sit Patrick Mahomes. I we kind of discussed this a little bit earlier today, you and I, but there's there's just no there is an upside to playing, but the ceiling for the upside is just we've got to lead on the AFC race right now. I would much rather have him fresh for the Steelers game, or maybe I think it's the Broncos week 18.
Yep.
Or even the playoffs. But I don't.
We have we okay, we have to win two of the next three games if the Bills win out. Or
Right.
if
Yeah.
we have to.
Yeah.
If we
We
win
can lose
two
a
of the
game.
next three games, we still have the number one seed.
Number one seed.
The Bills
Which is
do
important.
have. I mean, they're playing the Patriots twice here at the end. Like, talk
No,
about
Patriots. I can't believe I
the
never say that.
NFL. Talk about the NFL helping the Bills. They give them the Patriots in the last three weeks of the season. I mean, talk about being helped by the NFL. Now that is definitely being helped by the NFL. They're like, we'll just make it easy on them to end out. And I forget who their other opponent is, but it's a cream cake too. But
Yeah, the only way that I'm comfortable with Mahomes playing at all is if after the game on Sunday, he got a nice massage before he went to bed on his ankle, and then he woke up on Monday morning and he was like, "Oh, I'm perfectly good, 100%, not 99.9%, 100%." Otherwise, sit him. We've got a game, and it would be
do you think?
probably.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say it would be so much more beneficial for Carson Wentz at that point to get some game experience going into the playoffs where Mahomes' ankle is a concern.
Do you think? Do you think Brittany's a massage type of wife?
No, I think she's a hire a dude to massage his ankle type of wife.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You think Patrick's a massage type of husband?
You mean as far as like getting one, like giving one to Brittany?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Oh
about. That's I
yeah,
was so you
yeah. He
think
seems like.
you,
Well,
you
I
think
think like
Pat
if
would
they're,
massage Brittany, but
I
Brittany
think
is like,
if
nah, I can't be doing that.
no. Like if they're sitting on the couch watching a movie, having movie night, eating some popcorn, yeah, give each other a massage or whatever. I'm talking more like a therapeutic massage for a really
Gotcha.
sore muscle.
Gotcha.
I don't think she wants to put the half hour, 45 minutes into it at that point.
Yeah,
She's
and
just yeah.
I don't
And
know if her hands are
and I
strong
think
enough. Yeah. I mean,
and I also think that they both are aware of the health benefits from a professional
oh yeah.
in that kind of environment. So why wouldn't I mean it's not like they got to save a few extra bucks for because Christmas is close. I mean, they're doing okay.
Yep. I just think he's crazy to play, but I'm almost positive he's going to play.
He
It
will.
got it got classified as a mild ankle sprain. I think this is the perfect opportunity to let Wentz start. A ton of the players, we had two false starts after Wentz came in because of the cadence of the snap count. This is something that they could get some real good practice in a game with, and it's not. The Texans were on fire early, but they're not really on fire now. This would be the time to do it, not against the Steelers. But I think they figure he's going to get to play against the Browns, so I see that, or the Browns, the Broncos in Week 18. So they're thinking that he can do that then, and maybe they're just thinking Mahomes gets through these next two games and then could sit for 3 weeks after that game and be ready for the playoffs. But I don't
I
know.
don't
The Texans are killing it. Like, they're not great across the board, but they're killing it on the defensive line. They are killing it. I mean, they are one of the best pass rushing defensive lines in the game. And I'm not sure if they're the first or second team for giving injuries to other teams. They injure everybody.
I
And
don't want to hear that at
yeah,
all.
I know. And it's just, What? I
It
just
is
don't
so
know, man.
it is such a rare occasion that I question Andy Reid, and I know that Reid is a coach or is a player's coach. He's all in there. He's buddies with all those guys. But sometimes you've got to be the one to tell the star player, "Nope, no. This this benefits us so little as compared to the potential downside. This is bad for the team and the long-term team success for the rest of the season. This is a poor idea."
Eric
You know
Bieniemy's
what?
gone. There's nobody left to tell Mahomes no.
You don't even need to hire me. I'll do it for free. I'll come down there and I'll sit down in the office and I'll say, "Pat, I love you. Look, I'll be dressed in all my Pat Mahomes stuff. I love you, man. You're not playing this game. Don't even bother putting on your pads. You're not going to be backup. Justin Reed can kick. Bet he can throw too. You're not playing in this game."
Oh, that'd be great. Justin Reed coming out.
I know.
Oh man.
He'd be like, "Put me in, coach."
Or what about Pop the quarterback?
I don't care who.
Talk about some happy feet, right?
You could put Creed Humphreys in at quarterback. I don't care. I don't want Mahomes to play on Saturday.
Yeah, I really wish he would sit, but he's one of the toughest dudes in
He
the
is.
NFL, and
He's got heart just to spare, man. I mean, he's got so much heart, and
it's just which is why I can't understand why people hate the Chiefs.
I
It's
know
absurd to me. So
it's a
absurd to
hater.
me.
It's a hater thing, man. It's not about respect. It's just about hating on a brand.
Ugh. But boy, I'm just worried. Even the third best rusher on the Texans defensive line came out and said, "I hope he's mobile because we're coming for him." And that's not a threat; it's just a guarantee. Which, of course, he
That's what
can
they do.
talk smack because they are doing really well and they are rushing really well. But
He
still,
just said they better watch out because I'm going to play a game of football on Saturday.
well, it just I feel like they
It
they
means
are
nothing.
with the amount of injuries they have given to other teams. They are either just an extremely rough football team or the latter. They're dirty.
Dirty.
And
Yeah. I really hate to put that out there. I have watched like half a minute of Texans highlights this year, so I I would be the last person to put that out there. But it does suggest, I mean, you're making a strong argument, Bob.
I mean, I'm just saying the stats say that they're either unlucky in the way that they just hurt people constantly or they're out to hurt people. And if they know the ankle's weak, they're going to go it's like a boxer, that knows you have a broken rib and he's going to keep going for that broken rib, which some people would say is dirty and some people would say is what you should be doing, going for a weakness. But I
Yeah,
would
well,
say a boxer shouldn't be boxing with a broken rib.
I
Sit
don't know. This is a
Mahomes.
little known fact about the Tyson Holyfield fight, but Holyfield had an ear infection a couple of weeks before the fight. Tyson smelled some weakness and went for it.
Uh, Too bad he didn't do that to Jake Paul. Fixed.
He didn't do anything to Jake Paul.
Nope, except whisper in his ear, "Hey man, we done?"
You got my account number?
Yeah, can you send that 30 million over? Oh man. But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Uh P for Mahomes should play and S for Mahomes should sit. That's what that chat sports does. Tell you to leave
All right.
just a
Player sit,
letter.
P or S.
Yep.
I think we're gonna see a lot of S's, man. I can't imagine there's too many Chiefs fans out there that really that's what's gonna happen. There's gonna be Broncos and Raiders fans out there that are gonna be P P P P.
I don't know.
Make it
There's a
play.
lot of people asking for him to play, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
That is not the sentiment that I've heard.
I'm looking at forums. I'm looking at
Yeah, I know you've got a lot more
remarks
time to get
on
into that
YouTube
during the week than I do.
videos and
Yeah,
all that stuff. I'm talking about the general public, not the analysts and talking heads like us. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But
no, not at all. I
we
don't get that,
shouldn't keep harping on it. I feel
but
like
we will.
it's just kind of crazy. But maybe he gets to sit for Christmas. Maybe the Bills lose. I doubt it. But they play the Patriots. But you never know. It is a divisional game for the Bills. So you never know. And the Patriots playing for nothing can play without anxiety, without, that's a big thing. That's why a lot of these crap teams beat really good
Yep,
teams in
playing
the
spoiler
end
is
of
a
the,
big, big motivator,
yeah. And it's just, they
especially
have nothing
to
to
a
lose if,
divisional opponent.
yeah, they're coming in as, not expected to win. And if they don't win, it's no big deal. So, we'll just
Yep,
have to see. We'll just have to see.
sometimes those are the worst teams to go against.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah. Well, so we can talk about injuries real quick, and then we'll probably take a break. But
Okay.
Humphreys still did not practice. So,
Yeah, he's still listed as questionable,
do
and
we
if he didn't
think?
practice, that's probably not a good sign.
No, I don't. I think we'll
But if
be
we see the
lucky to
same
have him
lineup,
in the playoffs, from what I'm looking around and reading and everything.
I think Caliendo stepped in and did a very good job. Um, he has a lot of I mean, there's 3 guys up front and they all work together, right in the middle, but he still has to do his part. So he did great, and we know what Tooney did against Garrett. So, going against a team that doesn't have a Garrett or a Crosby or a, old school JJ Watt type guy, I think I think Mahomes might have some more time to find some receivers this week and maybe feel a little more comfortable.
So
But I still
you're
want to
feeling like
see
Tootie's gonna be left tackle once again?
I I mean, uh, if it's not DJ Humphreys, then I absolutely hope so.
Well,
If we
what's
see anything
weird?
else out there and Mahomes is starting, I'm going to be pissed.
What's weird is Wandy Morris has been hurt, but
Mhm.
I haven't seen him on the injury report.
Yes, he's not on the injury report. Uh,
So I'm wondering. I'm just wondering why he was never really on the injury report when he's been injured. I'm curious if they're trying to get him healthy too before the playoffs. Also,
I would be fine with a healthy Wanye. Wanye was very serviceable when he was healthy.
hmm but I don't know. Maybe
But I don't think that that's even in discussion. I mean, I work a lot of hours, so I don't get to listen to a whole lot, but the talking heads that I do listen to, there's been almost zero discussion of Wanye.
Well, I mean,
So I
the
just don't think
talking
that's an
heads
option.
know just as much as we do. I mean, or as much as I do. They
Yeah, right.
they they listen to the press conferences, which I listen to all of them every day, and they just take what they want from it and
Mhm.
guess. And the press conferences don't give you much. So all of this is just speculation across the board. We don't actually have, unless they say so and so is going to play. But normally the answer is bullshit. It's just, we're going to take it day by day. We're going to see how it goes. We'll just see how it is before game time. I mean, you just don't know. That's the whole reason shows like ours exist, is for us to talk about it and say what we think. But they
So
don't
what's
have
the
to give
what's
any good reasoning for anything.
what's the point of an injury list anyway then? I know the injured reserve, you're putting them so they're not taking up a roster spot, but you know, uh Humphreys isn't on injured reserve. So what is the benefit of putting him on the list? What is the benefit of putting that information out there?
I
Is
don't
there
know.
requirements?
There
That
is requirements.
So then
You're
Wanye must
supposed
be
to.
at least be technically not injured in some form or fashion, but it is definitely affecting his game,
Well,
whatever it is.
and remember, Tom Brady was infamously always on the injury report, and Belichick would just put anybody with a stub toe or ingrown toenail on the injury report just to mess with people. I mean, but I don't know. I think you're not supposed to lie. You're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure. I
You're not
don't know who
supposed to
actually does
deflate
this.
balls either, but it happens. You're not supposed to be dirty at the bottom of a pile, but it happens every single time.
He went for my nuts. But no, we should look
Grunhard has some great stories about that,
in
by the way.
in the off season. We should look into how this all works and get answers. Do a little investigative reporting. We'll be bored in the off season, so
Oh yeah,
it'll be
we'll have
there'll be
lots.
something to do. Can we can get that going, but uh, I don't know. I'm curious on the line. I'm hoping since the line is since Patrick is hurt and the line is ragtag. Maybe Patrick will go ahead and throw those quick slants that I've been asking for weeks. Maybe he'll get the ball. Maybe he'll, as we said back, at Varsity Blues, fire that pigskin. Maybe he'll do that.
You know what's funny? On the way home tonight, they were actually talking about something that we talked about immediately after the game. If, in fact, you brought it up, is it looked like Patrick Mahomes with all of those long throws was just practicing, and I mean, word for word,
Yep.
it sounded like they listened to our podcast.
Dude,
And I'm sure that's not the first time they said it. It just happened to be the first time I caught them talking about it. But
I
I was like, we said.
I just want to tell you, I have I was really unconfident when we first started this podcast, but we have said stuff that the talking heads bring up weeks later on ESPN, NFL. I listen to all of this shit every day. I mean, I consume so much Chiefs content and they take our takes. It is almost like they watch our show. It's funny.
We're gurus, folks. Like and subscribe.
It's true. Like we and I get on this a lot. We are gonna know more. We might not be right about our takes or our opinions. The game's very big, but we do as this channel. As you think about how about those Chiefs channel? You think about All Chiefed Up. You think about Chat Sports. You think about the KSN net Kansas City Sports Network. All of these guys, we all cover the Chiefs and just the Chiefs. Everybody on ESPN, NFL, all of these talking heads that are on the primetime things, they cover the entire league. And on top of that, a lot of them cover up other sports.
And it is a lot of work to cover one team. Uh, Believe me,
A
I don't
ton.
do a great job of it, and it is a lot of work and a lot of hours to do this. So to be able to cover 32 teams efficiently,
Impossible.
it's literally impossible. You've got a team of people that are helping you, and you're taking little snippets here and there, and then you're trying to remember things
And they're
that you
literally
saw during the
helping you.
game. Yeah, and they can't do it on the fly immediately, right? So they kind of got to pull some stuff out of the hat. Maybe they remember something that wasn't quite what they remembered. And so, I mean, we've heard it on broadcast before how they talk about guys, and you're like,
Dude,
that's not at all
I
what we're
remember
watching.
I remember when we did the trade for Hopkins, and I heard multiple people on different huge networks say Hopkins is going to stretch the field. And I said,
Yeah.
"Have
Uh-huh.
you not been paying attention?" Like,
I have
I
not been
didn't
paying
even
attention,
follow
but
Hopkins' career much,
and
and
I
I
knew that.
knew he was a
Yeah.
possession receiver and not a burner. I mean, are you kidding me right now? And so it's we do have a lot of good takes, and following people that just do one team is really good for that one team. We have to research the other teams that we play every week. That's why Mel doesn't come on these episodes, because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to take that time to do that. She'll talk about the game afterwards because she's,
Mhm.
watches a lot of stuff, but she doesn't
And
want to research the
she's got a
other
lot of
teams.
great takes on the games
Oh
themselves
God,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
and
does.
and I mean we can do that too, but we're trying to broaden our horizons, learn about other teams, and we're learning a lot. But it is funny because a lot of these guys will take it, and it's funny because I'm guessing that those people that work for the talking heads, those people, what they probably do, because it's what I would do, is when I'm preparing stuff for them to talk about, I'm going to go hit the local guys' YouTube channels, and I'm going to find out the real takes, and then I'm going to feed them to them, and that's probably what happens. So it's very possible they got the take from us, which is pretty cool.
I'm
Pretty cool.
flattered. I'm very flattered by the notion.
Yep. But yeah, okay. So let's
So
talk
let's take a
about
break. No,
no.
you
Let's
wanna
talk
take
about
you
one more thing. Well,
okay.
we can do the break first, but I got one more injury to talk about
Let's
before.
let's let's talk about the injury first,
You
because
sure?
I wanna come back from break and go on to the next little
Okay,
thing
okay.
that I have prepared.
All
Yeah.
right. You know who did full practice? Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl!
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hollywood is back, one-handed catching in practice, looking good. Holy crap.
Wait, did you actually see a play in practice that he caught the ball one-handed, or are you just excited and
Um
you're
uh,
saying that?
it I did not see it myself, but it was
But you heard about
reported
it? Okay.
on Twitter, and everything on
That's
Twitter is
that's
real.
true. Twix is real.
Twix is real. Twitter and X combined. Twix.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
that's man, such an amazing addition to this offense. Espe man, I still have it in my head that Carson Wentz is gonna start this game. I would love for Carson Wentz to get some reps with these number 1 wide receivers and I this offensive line that we're working with right now. I just think that him getting time in a trash game, there's going to be a lot of guys sitting in that game, so that's really not going to give him anything that would be helpful in the playoffs at all.
Yep. Yeah. That's
Reason number
thinking the same thing.
576 to sit Mahomes this week.
Yeah, definitely. But Hollywood Brown coming back. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know, there isn't a whole lot to know about his injury, but the surgery that he underwent basically made his whole area there stronger. Like basically, we have rebuilt him. Bionic man. It's in theory, it is, and on paper, that area is way stronger than it was before and should be able to take way more of a beating if he were to make the same type of fall. But there isn't a whole lot known about that injury. So at the same time, there isn't a whole lot of case study to go on, since he's only the second person in NFL history that got that
Wow.
injury.
That's interesting. It's kind of like Tommy John surgery for pitchers in the major league, the baseball league. Most of those guys now are coming back stronger and pitching faster. That's interesting that surgery can actually help improve the body. It's not just a treatment
Yeah, yeah,
or a band-aid.
it can actually strengthen it and make it stronger, especially if you do the rehab right. And then one last thing, he's not injured, he's not on the injury report, but a lot of people were freaking out about this. Just to let everybody know, Butker is okay. There was
Yes,
okay,
that was scary looking to me.
yeah, okay, so a lot of people saw the way he fell at the end of the kick. Guys, he's been doing this for the last couple years. It's something he had to learn when he first got a injury before. He had to learn how to do that to keep his plant legs safe. So he's going to continue to to collapse on that knee when he kicks, because he's not going to change. He changed his whole kicking style back then a couple years ago. He's not going to change it now. So he didn't go down hurt. He's completely fine. He's been doing that. You just haven't noticed it on camera since.
Well,
And
I think some people are kinda like me here. I did notice that all season, and then I realized that it was an injury. So what I assumed was so he was doing that because of an injury to compensate. So after the injury or after the surgery and he was healed, he would come back and not do that anymore. That's why that scared me. I knew he had been doing it. I just didn't know that he was going to continue doing that.
that's
So
it. Yeah,
now I'm not scared.
yeah. Uh, Tobe came out and talked to the media and was like, he's not going to change his kicking style again. You're just not going to do that if you don't have to. And it didn't hurt him at all. He arguably became more accurate after, mastering it. So, but the problem with that kick was you saw him, freaking out on the sideline. It's because the holder and the snapper weren't out there. Like, it was bad. Tobes basically apologized for that. And
Yeah, he did.
yeah, Dave
He said it
Tobes
was
is
his fault.
the special teams coach for anybody at home that doesn't know. Okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up. But we're going to do a quick 90-second break. We're going to play a little commercial for you, and then we're going to be right back to talk about Buck's got something planned for me. I don't know what it is, but I'm a little nervous. We'll see.
Get ready, folks. This is gonna be good.
All right, we'll see you guys in about 90 seconds. All right, guys. Just to let you know, we're going to be doing live shows on Monday nights. They're going to be an extra show that we're doing where we'll talk about Monday Night Football as well as Chiefs storylines and storylines around the league. We'll talk to different guests probably. It's going to be a different show than we normally do, but it's going to be a cool live show. And you guys can get involved and come meet us, come hang out, come be part of the show. It's going to be at the Sports Pub and Pizzeria in Lenexa, Kansas. It is inside the
All American Indoor Sports Complex.
Yeah.
8875 Rose Hill Road. They got a ton of TVs to watch the game. They've got pizza, some of the best pizza in the city.
Oh yeah, the
But
pizza's good.
Really good.
I'm kind of partial to the wings myself. But yeah, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
Yep, it's going to be fun, and there's all kinds of cool stuff there. You can watch the games. Monday nights is the ladies' league, and
They got soccer.
Yeah, they're playing soccer on either side of the bar with windows that show down below. There's arcade games for the kids. There's all kinds of cool stuff there. So we'd love you to come out and hang out, support us.
Come stop by, say hi.
Yeah,
Please.
help us grow. That's at 8875 Rose Hill Road, Lenexa, Kansas 66215, and that's the Sports Pub and Pizzeria.
It's really close to 87th and Quivira for those that are familiar with the area.
We'll see you there Monday nights.
Can't wait.
And we're back from break. All right, we're back from break. Buck, what do you got for me, dude?
Okay, so what I have for you here is a table. I'm going to show you some stats. And what I'm showing you here is some CJ Stroud stats, who's the quarterback of the Texans we're about to face. And then you're going to see some Patrick Mahomes stats.
Okay.
The difference is you won't know which one is which. So I'm going to ask you now, for those people that are going to be listening and not watching, I'm going to name some of the stats so you can kind of get in on the game too. See if you can figure out which one is Mahomes and which one is Stroud. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get rid of or change the color of that font. So now you can see that table. Okay. So what
I
we have
can't.
here.
Oh, do you want me to look at it?
Yes, you can look at it now.
All right,
I'm
let's
going to go
scroll
ahead
up.
and read these off. So the first set of stats is just the last game. So we got Mahomes' last game and Stroud's last game. So quarterback number one had a QBR of 39.9. He had a completion percentage of 69.2, 131 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Quarterback number two in his last game had 60.1 QBR, 50% completion percentage, 159 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Which one do you think is Stroud and which one do you think is Mahomes?
Mahomes is the latter, the one
It's the
with
latter.
50% completion percentage.
Is that because we covered the game and that you know that he had a 50% completion percentage?
It's because I know that he dropped back to pass way too many times, and I'm
And
just
he
guessing.
threw a lot of line balls.
I knew
Actually,
it
that's
was in the mid 100s somewhere. But yeah, I was
yeah.
pretty sure.
So if you look at, and kind of my point here is CJ Stroud, though we kind of think of him as a young up and comer who hasn't really done a whole lot yet. I've got the regular season numbers for Mahomes and Stroud up here as well, and the projected through the end of the season. And I'm not going to read them all, but they're very, very similar. Very similar. And my point here is I think that CJ Stroud is we might see some familiar things out of him that we're used to seeing out of a younger Mahomes. He does have some amazing games. He does have some amazing throws downfield. Um, it is it is kind of hit and miss, like we were talking about. They have some waves where they'll just look amazing, and then they'll have 3 games where they'll just fall flat on their ass. So you're not really sure which CJ Stroud that's going to show up. But as we kind of touched on earlier, historically speaking, teams show up against the Chiefs. We're always going to see their A games. We can just kind of expect that. And if that's the case, CJ Stroud could show us some things that could be amazing. And that's something to worry about.
Their passing stats. Wow, that is crazy. They are very similar for the season.
Yeah.
Like uncannily similar for the
Yep.
season. What's did you happen to check their rushing ones? Does Stroud rush a lot? I don't
No, I didn't. I did
watch a
not
ton
check
of
the
Texas
rushing.
games.
I will tell you the biggest difference through looking at all these stats. The biggest difference is the last 5 games for each quarterback, and that's the touchdown to interception ratio. So Stroud's touchdown to interception is 6-5, whereas Mahomes the last 5 games is 10-2 touchdowns to interceptions. So I think Mahomes is kind of settling down, thank God, after
And
all those
Stroud's working
interceptions earlier.
backwards at the
And
moment.
Stroud seems to be to working backwards, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's cool though. I didn't even realize that it was that close. All
yeah,
right.
he could be exciting to watch in the future if they can build a team around him and keep him protected. He could be a great quarterback.
I mean, he started the season out hot,
Yes.
hot.
But they've had some not so hot games.
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries.
All right. So that being said, uh, some of the key matchups to watch, not just the Mahomes versus Stroud thing, but our whole offense versus the Texans defense. As you mentioned, their record isn't the greatest right now, but the Texans defense plays tough. That's kind of like you said, they cause a lot of injuries, and that's usually not an accident. That's not over the long stretch, over a game or two, that's just happenstance. It happens. It's the game of football. But when it's a longer field of view,
It
it's less
almost
of happenstance. It's more habit.
it almost feels like they want to do it. Whereas when Joe Tooney accidentally poked what's his name in the
Miles
eye.
Garrett.
Yeah. Tootie looked like his heart was broken. It was like, oh, and like wanted to help in some way, and was just and then apologized at the end of the game. Whereas I feel like the Texas guys might just be more in the lines of, yeah.
Touching on that, there's a lot of people that think that Myles Garrett was just trying to try and get a flag out of it, and and a lot of people didn't see the hand to the eye. I didn't see the
I
hand to the
didn't
eye,
see
and
the
I
hand to
watched
the eye
that
either.
replay 100 times, but I saw Joe Tooney apologize prophetically twice. That tells me something happened, and
If
and Myles Garrett was
okay,
very stand up about it afterwards too.
dude, if that was acting on Myles Garrett, give that man an Oscar, get him to Hollywood, because that man can act. I talked about this when we did our live show at the pizzeria this last Monday, and I thought I had poked my eye out one time, and that's how you react. He's kind of brushing at it, kind of just, and then he freaks out, tries to pull his helmet off, can't get it off, freaks out even more, gets it off, and then just starts kind of just, I mean, shaking and moving all around. I mean,
That man was in pain.
if that was acting, that man was scared. I don't know if he was even in pain. I think pain was the least of it. I think he was scared to death, like that he had poked out his eye. That's what I think. So if that was acting, props to you, bro.
Good
you
job,
have
man.
you have a career
football.
after football there, buddy.
And he doesn't. He doesn't have a career after football. No. You know who he personality-wise, the few times that I've seen like after game interviews, when he's still adrenaline's still going, he reminds me a lot of oh man, now I can't think of the guy's name. Used to play for the Bucks. He was one of the greatest defensive linemen ever. Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp. I
The
get
man,
paid a king's ransom to play a kid's game.
when he was on TV, watching him, it was like he didn't know what to say, and so he would just say wild stuff, and it was weird. Sometimes it was funny, sometimes it was like, what?
I mean,
And
the best
he
one
just looks.
is I get paid
And
a king's
Myles,
ransom to play a kid's game. It's one of my
yeah,
favorite. It's one of my favorite NFL quotes of all time.
yeah. But I mean, when he was live on camera and he had to talk to people and interact and talk about the games and give his opinions, he just always looked like he was trying to figure out the right thing to say at all times,
Oh,
and it
you're
was just weird.
you're talking
It
about
was
when
just
he
weird
was
to
a
watch.
player?
No. When he was an analyst afterwards, he
Oh,
wasn't,
see,
and he
I
wasn't for long.
loved him on Inside
Ugh,
the NFL. Back when Inside the NFL had cool replays. Bring it back, guys. Come on. Like
just don't bring back Warren Sapp.
I mean, the guys they have on there are fine. Chad Johnson's awesome, but come on, guys. Like that whole show was built on the really cool replays. Like bring the really cool replays back, please, 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 please. But
Yeah, do that.
but yeah. So we got off on a tangent there about
Yeah, we did.
the injuries. Where were you go with that?
Well, no, what we need to see from this offense, from the Chiefs offense, is keep Patrick Mahomes. That's number one. Keep Patrick Mahomes safe. Let's call some quick slant plays where he's not holding the ball more than 2 or 3 seconds tops. Let's keep him safe. I don't even know why we're playing him. This is so dumb. Um, but but that is a key matchup to watch, is our whole offense against their entire defense. That is going to be the story of the game. And then the other story is defense. What our defense was absolutely out of this world against the Browns.
It
How are
was
they going to
record
show up?
breaking for. I mean, I don't know if it actually broke records, but it was like the 6 turnovers was something that hasn't happened in years, I believe. It was a crazy defensive performance. That's why it was so sad that it wasn't 65-7.
Yeah, yeah. But how is this defense going to play against a real formidable Texans offense with a potential superstar at the helm? So let's hope that they can force some turnovers. Amenahue coming back, he's kind of getting warmed up. He's had 2 games now, so he'll be in his third game, and so hopefully we can expect him to be a little bit more into full game form, and they can really turn up the juice a little bit. With a 3 or 4 man rush and not having to blitz all the time will just, it's going to help in the backfield. So
Yeah, he needs his sacks, but I'm telling you,
I'm not
man,
worried about sacks.
he's
I'm
opened
just
it
worried
up.
about being disruptive.
Yeah, he's
Just
been that's what he's done,
in fact, I'd rather him force turnovers than get the sacks.
which he did last week.
He did.
Yep.
He did.
Oh
Why
man,
didn't you give him player of the game for that?
because how could you? I gave it to the defense. You guys got mad at me, and I was like, I don't know how I could give it
You made me
to one
change when I said
person.
it was the defense.
No, Mel made us change.
I guess that's
She made us both change.
Yeah, I was thinking about that afterwards, and I was like, but wait a minute. We did just say that they do name players of the game, the whole defense. They just don't do like the season. So we should have been able to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
We
it
need to
it
have a
literally
discussion
was
with
the
Mel.
entire defense. It was
Yeah.
it
It
was
was
nuts.
Yep. Yep. All right. So yeah, those are the key matchups to kind of watch. Um, Playoff implications was kind of next where I wanted to go, unless you had something that you wanted to
No,
discuss
no,
with the key
no,
matchups.
no. I'm good. We're close to time too, so I think we're doing pretty good so far. We do have a voicemail we'll have to play here.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the playoff implications, I mean, the Chiefs have a full game of a cushion that they can lose and the Bills win and we still have that number 1 seed. So as you spoke earlier, if we win 2 out of the 3, we are guaranteed the number 1 spot. So if the Chiefs can pull this one out, that goes so far. And then if we were lucky enough for the Bills to lose at that point, let's sit Mahomes for the Steelers and the Broncos. I doubt that'll happen, but it would be cool.
Yes, yes, it
And then the
definitely would be.
Texans, yeah, Texans are playing for the playoffs. They're definitely still in the hunt. So that they're hungry, and they're going to come in here thinking that the Chiefs already have that spot. They practically got the first seed locked down, so maybe the Chiefs aren't going to play at full speed. I don't buy that for a minute. If Mahomes is on the field, I feel fairly confident in saying that the rest of the team is going to be 100% focused and ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. I can't. Yeah, I can't disagree with you.
Let's just hope that Nagy and that offensive game plan can give us just a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that's been the weak spot this season.
yeah.
Defense has been great. Special teams has been good. Offense has been
Yeah, and we have to put, we get on Nagy's ass, but Nagy makes a game makes a game plan. This is what happens according to interviews I have listened to for the past few years. Then Reed checks the game plan prior. He can change anything that he wants to. Then he does call at least the majority of the plays during the game. He doesn't call them all. At least that wasn't the way it was when B Enemy was there, and B Enemy would fight him on stuff, And one of the things that's big is running. Andy Reid has had, he said in his presser that you have to be able to pass the ball in this league, yes, but you have to be able to run too. And Bieniemy used to push that, and he would tell the guys, "I don't care. You have to be able to run when they know you're going to run, and you have to be able to get at least 3.5 yards." And that was his thing, and he would press it.
I wonder if him being an ex running back, it was one of those things they didn't take it seriously because they were like, well, yeah, he's a running back. Of course he wants to run more. You know what I mean?
I didn't even ever think about that, but
But
maybe.
now going forward, yeah, well, I didn't until just now either. But now going forward, that we see our running game has been so much more impactful, especially this season. And we're kind of like, maybe he was right.
And Andy's one of the best coaches in NFL history. He might go down as being the best, but the biggest knock on him for the entirety of his career is he's too pass heavy. And so I don't know, man. We need to give Andy some shit about these bad calls during it too, and not just put it all on. I've been harping on Nagy. I don't think he's great. I still don't think he's great, but I don't think it's all his fault too. So
No, but the
that's where I'm
common
at there.
denominator here is, I mean, offense looked great when Bieniemy was here. Offense not so great now with Nagy.
Literally stopped being great. You know,
Yeah,
if it stopped being
proof is in the
great
pudding.
when like Eric Bieniemy lost the best receiver in the National Football League, future Hall of Famer when he was young, Tyreek Hill. So, and then took us to, helped take us to a Super Bowl offensively the next year without that crazy weapon and without a few of the good weapons. So yeah,
And without a true
and
number one
Nagy's kind
receiver.
of not had success wherever he's went. I mean, he failed at being a head coach. But so did Spags. So you can't really justify that. But I just don't think I just don't think it's working. But unfortunately, they're not going to get rid of him unless he gets another job. So there's really nothing really to talk about. It doesn't matter how much the fans.
Maybe they could do some moving around, make him some kind of, executive VP of
Assistant head coach.
deflating footballs or something. I mean, there's got to be something.
Executive XP of deflating footballs. All right. Well, do you have anything else? Do you want to do these these voicemails real quick?
Yeah, let's do the voicemails.
All right. So let's go ahead and do this one.
Hey guys, I just had a quick question. I haven't seen anything on social media about Hardman, and I don't remember. I guess he got injured maybe a few games ago or a couple games ago, and I really haven't seen him on the injury report. So I kind of like to know if you guys know where they're at with Hardman's injury, if he has one, or if he's been benched, or they just haven't been using him. I'm kind of curious about that, so I was just wondering if you guys knew anything about where Hardman's been or whatever, or if he's coming back soon. I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good day.
My man Jeremy, he doesn't even have to say his name.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, Mecole Hardman is.
Do you want me to answer? Or do you want to answer?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's on the injured reserve, and he's expected to return week 18. So will he play week 18? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an impactful game, is that the game that we want him to come back in after being out for as many weeks as he's been out?
Yeah,
it's probably just best to let him rest until the playoffs.
And he may or may not come back for the playoffs. It's just
right. It's just what the injured report says right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is. He was injured. It was a knee, by the way. He hurt his knee.
As Reed would say, he's got a knee. I love how
Vermeil
he does
used
that.
to say that too.
He's like, he has a hip.
He's got an ankle.
He has a shoulder. It's like, thanks, so do I. Sweet.
I got two, actually.
All right, then
one on each side.
one last voicemail.
Hey guys, I was just wanting to know if you guys, what what you think about, or if you had any clue as to who is leaving the Chiefs after this year. I know you guys said Travis Kelce is possibly on his last year. I'm just curious to what other Chiefs are going to be leaving after this year, because we're planning on going to a Chiefs game next year. Just found this out, and it's going to be me, my honey, and her brother and his wife, and their kids. So we're going to a Chiefs game next year. So I'm just curious if Travis Kelce's still going to be there. I hope to God he is. And I heard rumors that Justin Reed is going to be gone after this year. I heard that Brett Veach is not keeping him. So I don't know who's leaving and who's staying. And I just wanted to know if you guys, what your thoughts were about that, who you think's leaving and who possibly will be there next year. But anyways, yeah. So that's my question. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Well, so just to let you know, we don't know who's leaving and who's going, but I can tell you from what I know, Travis Kelce has a restructured deal, and he's still on contract for next year. So unless he retires or gets traded, Travis will be on the team. As for people who might leave, every one of our wide receivers is on like a 1-year deal, except for I think maybe Justin Watson. I mean, every single one of them. And then Rice is on his last year, I believe, of his rookie contract next year, but he's most likely going to be suspended for the first half of the year, possibly. So there's also that. Hopkins,
Justin Reed is on the last year of his contract.
Yeah, well, hold on. We'll get to that one. I was just still doing the wideouts, though. But I don't know about Hopkins. I don't know if we took over his contract or how that works, or if I don't know that Hopkins. I think Hopkins is on just a 1-year deal, too.
Well, what I'm looking at shows that Hopkins, his contract covers this year. So whether that was brought over from the trade or whether he just signed a new 1-year contract or end of the year contract, yeah, he's definitely something that's going to need to be addressed in the offseason.
Hollywood Brown was a 1-year tender. I believe Pete Ryan is a 1-year tender. I mean Hunt 1 year, 1 year vet minimum deal. Yeah, I mean Xavier Worthy is going to be on our team next year. As far as wide receivers,
yeah, that's going to be great because he's blossomed. He's really showing some tenacity. I love his grit, the way he's been playing tough these last few weeks.
Definitely.
That's exciting going forward. And I know we're going to lose half of our wide receivers or more, but I have full confidence that Brett Veach is going to fill this team with some tough players, some fast players. I'm not overly concerned about that. The Travis Kelce thing,
It just depends on if Taylor lets him play another year.
I believe that he will play another year. The only thing is injuries. He's getting hit a lot every time he touches the ball. He doesn't score a lot of touchdowns now, so he's getting hit every single play. He's not breaking tackles anymore, so it hurts when he's getting hit.
Speaking of Kelce, though, we've been talking about him staring off to the space and the sideline, and Mel brought up how much of that is just what the media shows you. And I was so happy to see Kelce mic'd up. You can find it on the Chiefs YouTube channel. Kelce mic'd up last week, and he was talking on the sideline. He was doing all the stuff that we know. They just didn't show it to us during the game broadcast. So he was doing all. He was like, "Yeah, baby."
He was.
Yeah, he was hyped up. He was. Yeah, it made me feel good. Yep. Oh,
Maybe that's
Mel just yelled, "So I was right."
yes, and she usually is.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I have a whole soundbite for that. I could find it.
Yeah.
Mel's the best, and Bob, you're wrong.
Yep, that's from one of our other podcasts where they called into a voicemail right there. But yeah, talk about Reed though.
Well, I know he's on the last year of his contract, and he's played, okay. So he's probably going to get an offer that the Chiefs can't afford to match, and that's my biggest fear. Now,
Can't
saying that,
afford.
yeah, I mean, uh,
I mean, they could
you think
definitely afford it.
will they want to pay the exorbitant amount that he's going to get offered? He's going to he's going to mean enough to a team to really make him one of the highest paid safeties, I believe. And I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be willing. Maybe they can afford to do it. I don't know about the cap space and all that. I just don't think they'll be willing to offer him, top what, 5 or 10 safety money, do you think?
I'm not sure where he would market. But I will say, when I talked to Reed this year at the golf course,
Let's hear this insight that you
I
got out of him.
I talked to Reed, and he wants to stay bad. I mean, obviously, that's an obvious thing, but
What does his manager want?
well, she was also there too. And I can't say names, but she didn't talk to me, but she did talk to somebody facilitating time for them on the course. And from what I heard is that she's working really hard to make sure that he stays here. He really likes Kansas City. He really wants to stay in this offense. And when I talked to him, I was like, dude, I hope you end your, like, I talked about it in our episode way long ago when I ran into him. I was like, dude, I want you to retire here. And he was like, I talked about how personable and how real he was. And he looked at me and it was like, dude, I want to so bad. I want to so bad. And there was part of the talk about me meeting him was just how real he was, and how most professional athletes I've ever met kind of just give you bullshit. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, leave me alone, type of deal. But he wants to stay here. The problem is if you look at the Chiefs and what they've done in the Andy Reid era, they don't keep safeties and they don't keep corners. They don't pay big money for those spots. That's why
They develop them.
That's why we got rid of the best corner in the NFL last year. It's why we don't pay the big money for that position, and I don't know that they will. I mean, the last time I believe they paid big money for a safety was my man, number 29, Eric Berry, future Hall of Famer. And although I think Justin Reed's amazing, I don't know if he's at Berry's level yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I personally, I wouldn't put him on Barry's level yet, but there are very few that are up there at Barry's level, in my opinion. He was one of the greats,
and he can
both
kick
on and off the field.
Well, yeah, yep. And I mean, he could kick. Reed could kick. It's been really cool. I mean, you said he could probably throw too. So I would love to keep Reed. I would love to keep Reed, but
I will play the devil's advocate. For a moment.
Okay, go.
Your interaction with Mr. Reed and his manager on the golf course. Now, if I am Mr. Reed or the manager it would make perfect sense to say that to any Chiefs fan. So, regardless what's happening behind the curtain, where she's negotiating these huge contracts to the highest paying team, which is usually what happens. Look at Tyreek Hill. I mean, of course she's gonna say that. Of course he's gonna say that. And now I'm not saying that they were lying. I'm not. I'm not gonna sit here and put words in anybody's mouth. I'm sure that in a perfect world, that's where they would love to keep him, but they also want to get him paid.
Well, I
So
didn't
we'll
talk
see.
to her. This is
Right,
hearsay,
right.
telephone. I talked
But
to
I'm sure
him
that's the
though,
message that she wants
and
out there.
I can tell you for sure the way he was talking to me was sincere. I talked to a lot of people. Yeah, I can tell when somebody's lying and somebody's BSing, and he wants to stay here. But that should be a given. If you're in Andy Reid's system, Patrick Mahomes,
In the middle of a
every
dynasty.
every player probably wants to stay here, and yeah, I think that he could get a deal done, but like you said, maybe they want top money. It just kind of depends because we've been able to hang on to a lot of players that should have went for top money. That's why Super Bowl teams don't two-peat, don't three-peat, is because those players, that were on that team, people are like, oh, I want them, and they want to get paid, but teams just don't realize that our players, I think, just don't realize. It's the teams and the players. I don't know how to properly articulate this, but
Well, it's the chemistry. It's the makeup of the team.
yeah, and it's
losing
you
one
in
guy
that.
is a huge. Try putting a 500-piece puzzle together with 499 pieces. You can't do it. So just one ingredient is missing or changed, and it changes the entire recipe. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
So when
and
you're losing 4 or 5 key players, it's a whole different team.
well, and it's like Josh Uche, probably pretty good, but he's a 3-4 outside linebacker pass rusher that doesn't fit in a 4-3 where your pass rushers are your defensive ends. Like, it just doesn't fit, and it looked awkward every time he was out on the field, not in a 3-point stance. And I don't even know that from Spags talking in different pressers, I don't even know that Spags wanted Uche. And I think Veach might have just went out and grabbed him because he was a steal, but Spags hasn't been able to work him in, and Spags, it doesn't look like he's going to be in now going for the rest.
I find it hard to believe that Veach just was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab this guy, even though we don't really, the defensive coordinator, the guy that runs the defense. He's practically second in command of the team. I mean, he's higher than Nagy in hierarchy because Reed is offensive. So the top defensive guy is Nagy or is Spags, and so it's kind of like Reed over the offense and Spags over the defense, and then Nagy's in the room too. So I just find it hard to believe that Veach would just do that, and Spags was like, nah. I think he.
From what Spags has said in interviews, I think he didn't even have any clue, and he's also talked about the corner Nelson that Joshua Nelson or forget what his name, the one that came back to us after leaving us in 2018, who's on the practice squad, and he said
Steven Nelson?
maybe
I feel like it was a Nelson.
something Nelson. I
covered
don't
it,
know.
but I haven't heard anything about it.
Spags basically said, "But I don't know what Veach is doing. I don't know that I have any plan to play him." So I think you're completely wrong, and I think Veach went out and got him, and Spags didn't even ask for him. But both of us could be wrong. Who knows?
What do you guys think? Put a B if you agree with Buck, and put a B if you agree with Bob.
So yeah, I just think Reed and other players like that should really think twice before taking. If it's a huge payday, you got to do it. Your family and everything, but just remember, if you manage your money right, you guys all NFL players have a chance to be set for life if they manage money properly. You just have to manage the money that you have. And do you want to win, or do you want to be on a team, that pays you a bunch of money? I mean,
Suck.
Tyreek Hill, I bet, he might not answer you straight, but I bet in his head he's thinking, man, I should have stayed on the Chiefs.
Oh, he is. He is, absolutely. Although, I say, look at he's in a mediocre team, but they were without their quarterback for a long time, and he's been playing fairly well recently.
Yeah, but
so
he hasn't been. He hasn't got 2 more Super Bowl rings since he left.
Oh, no. I'm just talking about. It's not like Tyreek went to a shit team. I mean, he went to a decent team. It just hasn't all come together for them at all.
Yeah, and they have a ticking time bomb as a quarterback now, so it's not really going to come to it either.
Yeah. Yep, that's going to end badly.
All right, dude.
Sadly.
Well, I think that's it for the show. We've went a little bit long today, I think.
We do that from time to time, but that's okay. Because we love our team. And I could talk to you for hours about this.
I know, same. But,
honestly.
But we have to go. But don't, guys. If you want to call into the voicemail, it's 816-866-1066.
You can also text.
You can also text. Yes, you can also text. Just to let you guys know, we don't answer that phone. It's a Google Voice phone. We check the voicemails and the texts, and those are what go on the show. But it's not an actual number to call us. Just a heads up on that. If you want to interact with us, you could do so by interacting with us on Facebook, on X, on the comments on YouTube, on the voicemail. If you want to find any of our links, it's buckandbob.com. That's BUKNBOB.com. You can find all of our links there, everything, Facebook, X, blah, blah, blah. We're going to try to start streaming the show across Facebook, X, and YouTube. We just need a few more followers on Facebook.
Tell your friends
before we can actually stream there.
Tell your neighbors, tell your coworkers. Just give us a little follow, and
hide your
we'll
kids,
be on our way.
hide your wife, hide your mom.
I'm not going to say it.
That was not a movie quote, and I can't say the end of it. But I'll tell you after we go off. But So, Buck, where can we find you specifically?
You can find me on Twix. It's at Buck_tastic. That's BUK_TASTIK.
And you can find me on Twix, Twitter, and X combined at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. And yeah, you can also find us on Facebook. You can find us everywhere. Just Buck and Bob. Help us out. Join us everywhere. We hope to keep growing, and you guys are the way that we do it. Please give us comments on YouTube, follow on Spotify, comments, likes, subscribes, everything. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you Saturday after the game.
How about those
Chiefs?